Yeah, now the neighborhood Kollar.
Bonus tip. So we probably got a couple $100s in the past year.
Hi everyone, welcome to our video about getting rid of stuff. If you've been watching our videos, you've seen some of the fun we've been having. And the details we've been going through and getting rid of stuff. If you haven't watched, check out our other videos and our playlist about downsizing. But as a quick recap, we're going through some big changes in our life. We're downsizing from a full, huge, well, not huge,
2,500 square foot
2,500 square foot house. And we're going to downsize to transition to full-time RV living. So in the meantime, we have to unload a bunch of things.
Well, and so I know what you're thinking. Like, why should I listen to these people about where to get rid of stuff? Because obviously they really haven't gotten rid of much of anything yet.
I know it's back there, but I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to look.
But honestly, this is stuff from the girls' room because they cleared out. What's happening that we're finding is as we get rid of big dressers and cabinets and things like that, all the stuff in the drawers and in the cabinets is then in tubs and has to be gotten rid of. So where do we get rid of all this stuff? We're going to kind of give you some ideas, places that we've gotten rid of a lot of stuff, because we honestly have gotten rid of about 75% of what was in this house.
And we didn't just put it all in the living room here.
You might be downsizing just for a move, or you know, just you want to get rid of some of your stuff because you feel like overwhelmed, like we did, having all these things.
Yeah, and we're not experts by any means, but we wanted to share some of the things that we did. Were some successful, some not so much, but at least we can share what we did, what worked, what didn't work. And you can, you know, have some ideas. What
we started with in the very beginning, probably about a year ago, we just slowly started getting rid of some things on, number one would be CRAIGSLIST. And that's putting things on CRAIGSLIST, asking for some, whatever you think something is worth. And generally we got rid of bigger things on CRAIGSLIST. Basically it's just local people seeing that. So we probably got a couple $100s in the past year. Putting some things on CRAIGSLIST. Now that is if you have a little bit more time, because sometimes you might list something on CRAIGSLIST and it might be on there. I think we had some stuff on there 6-7 months before it finally sold.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest drawback with CRAIGSLIST is the amount of time it takes. If you have time and you're not, you know, pressed for, you have to get it done by a certain date, CRAIGSLIST is a good option.
The second thing we probably did when the house was still really pretty full of stuff was we went online and we found what you would call a picker. Or maybe like an auction type person who actually maybe has an antique shop or runs an auction house, and they will actually come into your home and go through your stuff and tell you what they want to buy and what they'll give you money for.
Right, and they're pretty much, you know, they know what they're looking for and looking at. The problem is you don't know what the stuff is worth, and it's not, maybe we're a little naive when we were thinking it was going to be like that American Pickers show where they come in and they're like bargaining about each individual
I'll give
item.
you this much for that. And
and then you're like, oh no, how about this? And I'll give you a 50. No, I won't take any less than 75. But it doesn't really work that way.
Not for us anyway. The guy. So we found someone through a local free paper who said he comes in and, you know, takes stuff. So what he did was he came into our home, basically our basement. We didn't have him upstairs. He was looking more for antique type things. That's kind of what he looks for. And so he came into the house, he picked out, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 things. Yep. And then he just gave us a big amount for that. So we don't know what he gave us specifically for any one item. Brian was kind of trying to go on the phone and look up prices of some stuff, and it seemed pretty reasonable what he gave us, so we got a couple $100s.
Some of the benefits of having a picker are, of course, he's paying you on the site.
Yep.
You know, they bring cash with them. It didn't take that long. It was maybe an hour and a half maybe, that he was here, and they take everything right away. You don't have to lug the stuff anywhere, even out of your house. They just load it up into their truck and they pay you and they go.
So that's a plus if they're taking bigger things.
So as far as disadvantages with a picker, might be some people that aren't comfortable having people come in their home. Yeah. That's why we kind of kept just the basement. We didn't want somebody walking through the rest of our house, at least not at that point.
All right, so a third way to get rid of some of the things you have, and this is sometimes people's one of their favorite ways, is a yard sale. Now, Brian and I don't really care for trying to have yard sales because till you move everything out and then we participated in one for the first time, a year ago, when a neighbor had one. And it just was like we put all this stuff out, not that many people came by. So we personally did not do a yard sale to get rid of any of our stuff this year. But yard sales are really successful. You can find all kinds of tips online if you search like yard sale tips and the best times to have them and how to price things and how to advertise. So there's lots of great resources out there if you enjoy yard sales and want to get rid of a lot of your stuff with yard sales. I know I see in our local free paper a lot, people will have, moving sale, and then they'll say, okay, this is it. This is the last, yard sale before I'm moving. This is it. This is everything. So you can do that kind of thing. If you're not into yard sales, what we chose to do was we found local auction. And you can find some auctions online. There's two ways. You can actually have an auctioneer come into your house, and a lot of times people do this with estates, and they come in and they auction off everything in your home. That was too extreme for us. Obviously, we're keeping things and things like that, but we could take our things to an auction. We found it through actually the picker who came to our home. He told us a place we could get rid of a lot of our die-cast metal cars that my dad had. And it was an auction that's at a local fire company once a week. Called up the guy, so we've taken stuff to auction probably 5 different times. Nice thing about the auction is you can take just about anything to the auction. It might not sell for too much, and the auctioneer takes a percentage. In our case, they're taking 30%. But it is a quick way to just get rid of loads of stuff. We load up the cars, take it to the auction, they unload it, and we don't even show up for the auction. We take it on a Monday. On Wednesday there's an auction, and like 30 days later we get a check in the mail and an itemized listing of how much everything went for. So the auction is a great way to get rid of just large amounts of stuff in a really quick amount of time.
All right, so I'm going to do 5 and 6 together. These two are the free curbside pile and then the dumpster. So the free curbside deal is you just put stuff out along your street, a big sign that says free. Go down to your cross street and put a big sign there that says free, pointing up to your other free sign. People will find it. And we were amazed at how much stuff went that method. We got this big dumpster, which is the number 6 way.
Ooh, it's so exciting. I'm sure the guy appreciates the audience.
To have a dumpster and just throw stuff away. But we were like, okay, we'd rather see the stuff get taken and used by somebody else than just thrown in the dumpster. We can always throw it in later. Almost all of it went from the free pile. So now we have this dumpster that's less than half full, and we'll be able to fill it because we have yard scrap and stuff like that we can put in there. But we're really surprised the free pile at the curb was very effective.
So the type of thing we put out for free, that was like a kiddie pool and flower pots, and I think we had an old sled or 2 out there. But things that you don't think, I know in our area, I was amazed. People took all kinds of scrap wood. I guess they take scrap wood, they can burn it, start their fires in the wintertime. Any kind of scrap metal that you throw out there, people will take any kind of metal because they'll take that to get recycled. So we were really surprised at what went out there. That's real simple. You drag it out of your house or your basement or your garage, and you put it out there, and before long it's gone. Now, with the dumpster that Brian mentioned, oh, he's going to open. Don't break it. But the thing about a dumpster that Brian
I can't open it.
He's too weak. Are you blaming this on you're in a wheelchair?
No, I'm blaming it that it's rusted fast at the bottom.
But anyway, a dumpster does cost money to have a dumpster brought to your home. So we were surprised at the cost of a dumpster. We're in southeastern Pennsylvania. This size dumpster was like $425 for 10 days. So a dumpster is kind of expensive, but if you've got a lot of bigger stuff that you want to get rid of that you know is just scrap and isn't going to get taken for free, you might have to get a dumpster. Or I know of people, if they had a truck or could borrow a pickup truck, they took a lot of stuff to a local dump, and sometimes you have to pay a little bit to throw stuff in a dump. But it's probably cheaper than getting a dumpster if you have a truck available and have the time to just drive back and forth a bunch of times and put stuff at a dump.
And I forgot, with the free pile down at the curb, we also put a CRAIGSLIST listing saying free curb alert and listed some of the major things that we had out on the pile and updated it a few times a day as stuff went and as we put more on it. And I think that brought a lot of traffic in, a lot of people
We had pictures up there, and we've had the free pile out for 2 weeks now. And we actually have a lot of repeat customers, and today it is raining. So we actually had someone email us and say, like, oh, are you putting more stuff out today? And we said, well, no, we're not going to put out today because of the rain. But as soon as it stops raining, you can come up again and check what we've put out today. So I think
so we are now the neighborhood Carve-A-Lot.
Yeah.
For
so
free junk.
everyone in our township kind of knows
Come on,
this
get
is a
your
place
junk.
to go.
We've got more behind the curtain.
Okay, and number 7 is the kind of obvious one. It just puts stuff out for garbage. But you have to go online and check with like whoever takes the garbage, because there probably will be a garbage limit, so you can't put out like a huge mound of stuff that they have to take. So we checked, and we're allowed to put out 4 bags of garbage every pickup, which is twice a week, so we can get rid of like 8 bags of garbage a week, which is pretty good.
So we've been hitting our limit on that for months.
Yeah.
That is what we have to fit all our stuff,
Yeah, there. That's our future home. Right there.
which is why we have to get rid of all the stuff that's in there and put it what's left in there.
Now, it doesn't all have to fit in there, because we are going to probably get a storage unit for some stuff that we're going to want to keep for once we have a much smaller home. But yeah, we have to get rid of a lot of stuff. So now we're in the detached garage, and we wanted to share a success story. This garage, it probably could hold 4 cars completely empty. It used to hold maybe 1, because we had 2 mowers, 2 riding mowers, push mower, wheelbarrow, cart, all this other stuff, and then just all the 50 years worth of accumulated stuff. It's all cleared out pretty much now, and it's amazing how much space there is in this thing. So good job to Diane for getting this cleared out.
Because we cleared out all the sides, we cleared out the rafters. It was amazing how much stuff my father had up there that I did not realize until I took the ladder up there and started pulling stuff down. So yeah, this has been a major success story. So we're pretty happy with this. One of the ways we got rid of some stuff out here was family and friends. And number 8 is family and friends. They're like, that's a great way. Start with your family and friends. If you know they might want something, offer it to them first. It makes, it makes everybody happy. Plus, if there's sentimental things, I know there's a lot of things from my mom and dad that I've been offering to my relatives and stuff, because it's nice to keep it in the family and all that. Helps them out. We had a lot of lumber out here, so we gave that to, a nephew-in-law who does carpentry, and, he's a contractor, nails and things like that. So family, friends, and church goes along with that. We listed some furniture, I know, on our church email list, and, through friends of friends of friends, there's people who can use it. There was a neighbor of a family member who could use a dresser we had. So family, friends, church, that always works well. Most of those things we did for free or just for, a minimal amount. People would say, no, I want to give you something for it.
Yeah, with friends and family, it's a little maybe touchy sometimes. If you don't know if you want to shake down your friends and family for money. That's up to you. But
I did just lose my job, but
Yeah.
you want to give a donation.
But at least that's the kind of disadvantage is, you might not get as much money, but your family and friends are going to be very grateful for getting the stuff from you.
Bonus tip over here. In case, and I don't know why you would have old tires, but we do, so many of you might. I didn't know we had 6 tires. My father had them hidden up in the rafters out here. You can't throw tires in a dumpster. You have to look at the rules. There's certain, you can't throw chemicals and certain things in a dumpster. So we went online. Online is wonderful. Looked up tire recycling. Found out there is a place in our area that's maybe 25 minutes from our house that will take tires, and for passenger type size vehicles, you pay $2 a tire and they'll take them and recycle them.
So we have lots of books left from clearing them all out. And so some ways that you can get rid of them are online, like eBay and Amazon. But one way that we've given most of our books is you give them away for free, but you give them to a local library. and then they can sell them for some money.
Okay, so now we're down in the basement, and if you've seen some of our other videos, the basement used to be just crammed full of stuff, much like most of our house. So it's very empty. This was full of all kinds of nails and woodworking things. My dad and his family and my mom's brothers did a lot of carpentry. So we had a lot of scrap metal laying around, and scrap metal can take to be recycled. So find your local recycling center where you take aluminum cans or newspaper to get recycled, and you can take other forms of metal. So you can take loads of scrap metal there, and your local recycling center will probably take copper, brass, anything like that. So what I've done, my dad actually, we have boxes of copper nails, which I didn't even know they made copper nails, but they're really old, so we have that. But like here, there's all kinds of fixtures and pieces of you know, copper and brass that happen to be laying around. If you're in a newer home and don't, you know, you might not have a lot of that stuff. But if it's an older home, like in our case, where we inherited the 50-year-old home, and my mom and dad had a lot of stuff, you might have these things laying around. And McKenna and I just took some stuff like 2 days ago. We've always collected aluminum cans for recycling, so we have like quite a few bags of those. So we're going to take them to the recycling center. But in addition to the cans, which, you know, you might not have laying around, we also have like bits of copper and brass and things like that can all go to the recycling center. And we got like $40 from recycling some copper and brass and things like that. So recycling centers and some things maybe you didn't think you could get money for, you can take and get some money for those things too.
Okay, so Goodwill is another option as a great place to get rid of all your clothing. So we just recently completely cleared out a room, like all the dresses and stuff. What we did with all our clothing, we took it to just like Goodwill, different thrift stores. You could take it to consignment stores, and you can actually get money for it. But we've just taken like bags upon bags of clothing to Goodwill.
Okay, so another option for getting rid of stuff, and this is similar to like the CRAIGSLIST or Let Go, one of those things, is eBay. We didn't use eBay too much. eBay mostly is going to be great for smaller things that are light and cheap shipping, or maybe like higher value things. But still, if you have anything that's, you know, even more than just a couple of pounds, the shipping could really cut into the amount of money you're going to get anyway. So it would be just easier and better to just either sell it locally on a Craigslist type place, or take it to an auction and get what you can for it. Alright, so that's our list of how we got rid of things. Hopefully you found some information that'll help you get on your way in downsizing in whatever your goals are. It's certainly not an exhaustive list. There's probably other ways to do it. Go online, do some searches. You can probably find other ways to do it. Things might be different in your area where you live, but these are the things that we did. And remember to always live your life to the fullest.